Welcome into MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by TOA, Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. It's time to talk with the head coach of the Cougars football team, Christian Peterson, and ran into a tough Nashville Christian team last night, didn't you?
Yeah, they're a really good football team. Thought our kids competed. I thought offensively we moved the ball well most of the night. Defensively you're lining up, and they got a bunch of 5-star and 4-star guys running around, and we got a bunch of freshmen, sophomores trying to tackle them. But again, I'm proud of how our kids fought. I think since fall break, we really kind of turned a corner from our whole team perspective. I thought we took big strides throughout the year. And I'm proud of them. I think we went down throwing our best shot, and now we just kind of get back into the off season and keep working and keep developing kids and see where it takes us.
You said fall break, and I was just writing a note because I didn't want to forget to say this, but I'm going to say it now. We talk obviously a lot about last night and stuff in just a second, but fall break, the game right before fall break, we were there. We broadcast the game. Your quarterback goes down. Nobody knows. Knee swells up like a balloon. And there was a sense of shock throughout the whole place, and that can be contagious and really derail. Luckily, it was not serious enough to keep him out too long, but you know what I'm saying? It could have been something that could have tumbled the team into the wrong direction.
For sure, for sure. I think that's where, our seniors, even though when he went down, that was the third of our four seniors to be out.
Yeah.
And so we were out there rolling with one senior at that point. And, again, I think that's where, even though they weren't playing, it's where our senior leadership really kind of took over and righted the ship, and behind closed doors where where a lot of people don't see it. They were kind of that positive force, and they were the ones standing right next to our young guys in practice, making sure they were ready, and really, when they couldn't go, they were everybody's number one cheerleader, and so, they were. I can't say enough about them. They were fantastic. They helped kind of right the ship, and really got guys ready to go for after fall break. I think fall break kind of came at a good time, kind of that mental reset. Then we came out and we played our best football of the year. Our last 5 games, we put some points on the board. We moved the ball defensively. We played our best football throughout that 5-game stretch. I think there's a lot of positives to build on. I think a lot of guys kind of figured out who they are, what their role is, and they started being able to not necessarily line up and worry about, all right, I need to be here, I need to try and get to here. Now it was just like, all right, I know I'm going here, let me go make a play. And they started playing a little bit looser. And again, I think it just, as a staff, we look at it and go, all right, like, we're good. Like, they started to figure it out. We're starting to get there, and now we're gonna get another off season in the weight room and get bigger and get faster and get stronger and go out and compete again next year. And again, I think there's a lot of positives for this year, especially how we finished the year. Getting to the quarterfinals, getting to be one of the last 8 teams left. It's kind of what we talked about all week. Like, guys, like, you earned your shot to be here. Like, there's only 8 teams left, and you're one of them. And don't ever take that for granted. It's hard to win games in the postseason. And our game last week, we won big. Like, that's not easy to do. It doesn't matter how good you are or how young you are or how old you are. It doesn't matter. Like, winning games in the postseason is hard.
Yeah.
And so for them to be able to get that win and get the opportunity to play in the quarterfinals, I think is going to be huge for their development. Getting to kind of make a little mini run there, and kind of lights that fire and makes getting into the off season that much easier.
You had to make a run there, or you wouldn't. There was a scenario that you wouldn't have even been playing in the playoffs. So it was just remarkable to see that your guys just really lock in, especially after that fall break. And you mentioned the mini run here, and I can only imagine how much pressure there was, especially on your group of seniors, knowing that There's not as many seniors this year as was last year. You've got a target on your back because you're the defending state champion. If anybody can beat you, then that's going to be the biggest celebration maybe of the year for them. And that's a lot of some kids would crumble under that, but your guys didn't.
No, yeah, I think they started. The best thing again is like our seniors understand like the process of how we do things, and they understand that it's not necessarily, we just show up on Friday and roll the ball out and let's see what happens, right? Like it really is, our preparation Monday through Thursday, and I think that was kind of the biggest reset that we had after fall break was our seniors really going through and making sure practice Monday through Thursday was how it needed to be so that we could go on the run that we did. Um, I think our young guys figured out that what high school practice is. I think it got better throughout the year, and I think we really took a huge step after fall break, and just our compete level in practice, our physicality level in practice, and it showed. Like I thought we were more physical the second half of the year. I thought we competed better the second half of the year. I thought, we're getting where we're supposed to go. We're making the right checks. We're doing a lot of the right things, and again, that happens Monday through Thursday. Like that is when Friday you shouldn't be thinking. Friday you should just be playing, and so you've got to get all your thinking out Monday through Thursday. You've got to make sure that it becomes second nature. That way, when you go out on Friday, you get to just go play loose and fast and go have fun. And again, I think the preparation just continued to get better as it normally does with a young team. And so, again, I think the best thing that happened was they saw those results, right? They saw really good Monday through Thursdays lead to good Fridays. And so, now you're able to get into the off season and go, look, like now we need a really good off season, right? So a really long Monday through Thursday is basically what the off season is. And so, go have a great off season. Let's go get bigger. Let's get more athletic. And let's build this thing the right way. We got a lot of guys coming back. A lot of guys that played a lot of football for us throughout the year. Guys that we probably weren't expecting to play a whole lot had to play just with the injuries and nicks and bruises and everything else that we had. And, I think that's just going to help them moving forward. We had freshmen starting for us all year.
Yeah.
So they get to start their sophomore year with a full season under their belt, right? Their eyes aren't going to be wide in game one and game two, kind of like they were this year. They're going to know what's going on. They're going to understand what it looks like. They're going to be able to lean back on some examples from this past year. And I think that's really going to kind of speed up the process.
A little bit about last night's game. First, early in I guess midway through the first quarter, you strike first in that, and that was a way to try to set the tone on the road at Nashville Christian, and that was a nice start. But they answered pretty quickly right back, didn't they?
Yeah. So we got the ball first, and I think we executed our game plan perfect there. Took about 6 minutes off the clock. Drove the ball kind of methodically down the field 3 to 4 yards at a time. Just playing physical brand of football. And got down there, got the touchdown. Owen White punched it in. And then, then they trot out number one quarterback in the country and 4-star running back. And they do. They answer, which we knew they would. Like, we knew they were going to score. And so, put together another couple good drives. Our second drive, we get Owen out on a wheel route and just miss him, like off his fingertips. Like would have been a huge play, and maybe that changes the game a little bit. Be able to complete that one, but I mean, credit to Briggs, he made a great read, found him. Owen did everything he could to try and catch it. It just didn't happen, and so. But again, our kids kept fighting. We kept clawing away. We kept moving the ball. A couple turnovers here and there kind of hurt us a little bit. Especially early. You can't turn the ball over to them because they'll turn it into points real quick. Yeah. But again, like I didn't see any quitting our guys. They lined up and they played football, and we gave them our best shot. You kind of go into that game, and no one in Class A has scored more than 7 on them all year, and so we came out and lined up in a few new formations and ran a couple gadget plays, and tried to get things going. And I thought our kids responded really well. I thought they understood what we were trying to do, and again, really proud of them. Thought they played really hard.
Jared Curtis is a different cat, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a pretty good football player.
Um, um, he's the quarterback, but also their leading running back, right?
Yeah, so they just got their running back eligible here at the end.
Oh, okay.
So he'd only played in one game prior to playing us. Big 6 foot, 225 running back they brought in, and he's a good football player. And so we knew we were gonna have to try and get him. And it makes it tough when you can turn around and hand it to a 4-star running back or let the 5-star quarterback throw it. And so we threw a couple weird looks at him, and they caught us in a couple of them, but the one thing you can say is we threw everything we had at him. It was our best shot. It was, we threw every coverage look we had at him. We every blitz, every alignment. Offensively, we lined up in every formation that we line up in. We emptied the play sheet. We went down swinging, and so again, proud of the guys' fight.
We have got Christian Peterson joining us here this morning, the head coach of MTCS here on Cougar Corner. Shy Murphy, 15 carries, 127 yards for you last night. He was your leading rusher.
Yeah, he's had a really good. He's one of those ones that, like, since fall break, it's really kind of clicked for him. He's understanding where he needs to go with the ball. He's got game-breaking speed, but he had to figure out exactly where the hole was he needed to get to, and just to trust it. I think sometimes you get guys that are as fast as he is and they just want to go, and so sometimes he'd outrun his blockers and things like that and get himself in tough situations. The second half of the year, he's really seen it. He's seen it much better. He's been able to hit the hole, and he's been able to just every week. I think he's rushed for more yards over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Every week he's added more and more yards to it, and so as he gets going, that's just going to help us moving forward.
Bangura had 66 yards on 15 carries, and he has been kind of lightning in the bottle in this last half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, for a freshman to do what he did, he actually broke 1,000 yards last night. So
awesome.
First freshman back we've ever had do that. And again, he really kind of started running the ball there after fall break.
Right.
He had a few carries before then, like the Webb game. I think he had 60 something, but he hadn't really been a feature guy until after fall break. And in the last 5 games, he had 3 games where he broke 200. And so he really again started figuring out where the hole was, where he needed to get to, running behind his blockers, and then he can do things you can't coach. Like, he makes cuts that most don't see, and very, very bright future ahead for him.
On the defensive side of the football, it looks like Jaden Sanders had a fumble recovery for you last night, and I think it was Cooper that forced a fumble, and your defense flying around, and Owen White rather. Owen Wilson. He probably does. He doesn't even look like Owen Wilson, does he? 7 tackles to lead the way for you.
Yeah. Again, I think our seniors played like seniors. Briggs threw a touchdown, ran a touchdown. Owen White ran a touchdown. He led the team in tackling. Braden Box kind of did what Braden Box has done all year, right? We played him all over the place. He played offensive tackle. He played tight end. We moved him around. We matched him up on their best D lineman some and let him block them. We moved him around, trying to throw him the football. We asked a lot out of him throughout the year. I mean, he's played offensive tackle. He's played tight end. He's played fullback. He's kind of been our Swiss Army knife. He's played outside linebacker. He's played inside linebacker. He's kind of played like our hybrid linebacker safety spot. We've asked a lot from him, and could be more proud of all of our seniors. I think they came out and over the last 2 weeks, the 3 that could score, we have 1 lineman, but the 3 that can score all scored a touchdown in the last 2 weeks. And so you always like seeing that. You like seeing the seniors kind of go out playing their best football. And when they leave here, They're going to leave as the second winningest class in school history. They're going to leave with 2 region championships. They're going to leave with a state championship. They had a really successful run here, and I think they're leaving the program better than they found it. And again, like I said, like this season isn't here right now where we are without those guys.
Yeah.
Like they were the leaders in the locker room. They helped the staff. Because the staff can say and can push and can lead the way all you want, but until you get people in the locker room saying the same things and leading the same way, you can't be special. And they understood that. They understood the responsibility of that, and I think they did a great job.
20 years, I think, of Cougar football somewhere.
Yeah,
close.
right around there. I think next year's our 25th year because we started in 05.
So, and my point about that being is that this group, along with last year's group, maybe laid a firmer foundation than any group has been able to do so in those 20 plus years to take you to that next level. I mean, you did win a state championship last year, but I mean, you talked about 2 region championships, just rattling off wins, and that's how you become one of those elite teams like a Nashville Christian or a Friendship Christian that has done it multiple times, and that's what you wanted to build here.
For sure. I think you go through the history of kind of MTCS, and I like to do it. When I was coaching at my alma mater before I was here, so it was one of those things where whoever the head coach was, they could come ask me, and I probably could tell you what happened in 2001,
yeah,
and stuff like that, and like things when I was in like elementary and middle school, like I was still going to the games, so like I knew all those players, like I knew where they went to school, and so when I got here, you kind of go to it, you get to a new spot, and you don't necessarily know all of the history. And so
you had to talk to Ed Watson, right?
Absolutely. He's that guy here. He knows, he's been around here forever. But that's, I think, the thing with MTCS is you really kind of go through the years and you saw the foundation get laid before we were really here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it started. When we got here, that was one of the things Tackett and I talked about a lot was like it's here. Like what you need to win is here. And so we just needed to figure out how to take it to that next step. And, it's taken a lot of people through the years, a lot of building, and we had a couple really special classes that happened to be coming through when we got here. And we were able to kind of, build around them. And they bought in and they've done everything we've asked of them. And it's translated to a lot of wins. And so now it's about, getting that new crop and guys that have been able to watch, the seniors do it a certain way and be very successful and have opportunities to play after high school. And, it makes it a lot easier sell when you don't have to talk about, guys, this can happen here. Like it can, like it is possible. And now you're able to talk about, well, I mean, last year these guys did it. The year before that, these guys did it. And so it just makes it a lot easier to sell it, when you're not having to talk in hypotheticals. You're able to use real life examples from people that they knew and people that they got to watch growing up. And so, I think, like I said, I think the foundation was starting to get built already. I think there was a lot of really good things happening at MTCS when we got here. And we were able to kind of just help them take that next step. And so now it's about taking that next step to where we're that competitive every year. And so, at small school football, you're going to have times where you graduate a class of 13, that's a 30-year roster, and it's going to affect you kind of moving forward. You're going to have years like this where 60% of your roster is either a freshman or new to your school. And so it's going to take a little bit of time to gel and get used to each other and learn how to play together and, learn what this person does well and what this person does well and, what gets this kid to play at his best. And so, again, I think the future is very, very bright. I think there's a lot of positive things happening in MTCS.
You mentioned Colby Tackett, and you obviously came with him to MTCS, stayed after he made a professional move. Middle Tennessee feel like home?
Yeah, for sure. That's what I told him when Colby was leaving. I went and told all the admin, like, look, I don't want to go anywhere else. Like, I want to stay here. he went back to Florida, and I was like, I lived there my whole life, right? Like
Yeah.
when we left, I wanted to go somewhere else. I wanted to do something else, and you know, the community here is fantastic, and looking for my first head coaching job, kind of the joke in coaching circles, right, is you either take over a really bad job, you follow someone in your family, right, or you happen to be on staff and the job opens up and you get your chance. Like that's how you get your first job.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew this was a fantastic place to be. I knew this was, that you don't get much better first jobs than this one. And so, when it opened up, I was like, guys, I don't want to go anywhere else. Like I want this one, and I know these kids. I know that we can be successful here. I think what we had built for 2 years under Colby was really good, and we were trending in the right direction.
Right.
And so, it wasn't going to be wholesale changes. And again, I think it helped that, the entire coaching staff was able to stay on, and it created a lot of continuity for the kids. It's a different voice saying things. I do things a little different than Colby did. And, and right or wrong, I'm not Colby, right? So like, I'm not going to try and be him. I'm going to try and be me, the best of my ability. And so again, I think that helped the kids in the transition. You get a new head coach, but when all of the other 8 coaches are still there, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of transition into it. And so, I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to get my shot here. And, I love this place. I love these kids. And so, again, really excited for what we're building.
It had to be cool also to see, the strong 5th and 6th grade program and the middle school program and all of that, knowing that you can have a handprint on all of that. And by the time they get to you, there's not a huge learning curve like it can be at other places.
No doubt. I mean, our 5th and 6th grade team, I think they went 5-1-1 this year. Our middle school team, our 7th and 8th grade team, they went 8 or 9-0. So, and I think again, it's a testament to like people care, right? Like, I don't have to do the day-to-day operations of our 5th and 6th grade program, right? We've got guys that are in charge of it, and I'm over it. I'm there for if they have any questions. Like we talk through what the plan is, what we're going to do, but kind of once it gets rolling, like I trust those guys to do it because I know that they've got the best interests of the kids in mind. And same thing with our 7th and 8th grade program. Like I know that they're out there to do it the right way. We're there for especially that young group. Like I'd love for them to win every game, sure, but like I want them to have fun. I want retention, right? I want if you're playing football in 5th grade at MTCS, I want you playing football in 9th grade at MTCS. And so I think they understand that, and wins come, that it's going to happen, but you can't win if you don't have players, right? And so retention, especially at those younger levels, build a love for the game, let them enjoy it.
And at your level of high school, I mean, retention is huge because, I mean, if you can roll out of there with a roster of 40 versus 20, that's a huge difference.
No doubt. No doubt. And, so again, I think it's the community that cares so much. And, it's all things that we saw when we first got here. And it's things that I could see when the job opened up and why I wanted to stay is, again, there's so many positive things happening here and so many good things at MTCS that, I think I would have been crazy to not, throw my hat in the ring and try and get it. And, again, been very blessed. I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. And, my family loves it. My daughter will be in kindergarten next year.
Oh, awesome.
And so, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And, again, this senior group's special because when I got here, they were freshmen. And so you kind of watched them go through all 4 years. And
you grew your family while being here too, you know, personally.
Absolutely. Yeah. My oldest daughter was 1.5 when we got here. And, she'll be in kindergarten next year. And then now we've got a second little munchkin running around. And so it's been a lot of fun. Again, it's just a place that really cares and a place that wants to do things the right way. And, again, I'm blessed and I couldn't ask for a better job.
Well, let's take a quick break here on Cougar Corner, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about next year, The region realignment proposal is out. We'll talk a little bit about that and kind of wrap up our conversation on football for the season with the head coach, Christian Peterson. That's coming up next.